away. Oh! Oh!
Wow! Okay.
Did you see that shot?
I mean,
Did you see it?
I did see it.
Did you see that?
Wow.
Did you get that on film? That was corner pocket, dude. I feel bad for that kid because that was a perfect shot. Perfect.
Hoping that it's not too late. Someday I'm gonna make it back to you.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the All Angles podcast. And because Cookie and I are obsessed with talking about hockey, we got ourselves.
Whoa! What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, because Cookie's obsessed with talking about hockey, we went and got ourselves a hockey guy on here. And
a real hockey guy.
Yeah, real hockey guy. This is Tanner Mortenson coming to us from Calgary, Alberta. And Tanner, I discovered Tanner on social media doing a lot of like the skating and these unbelievable sceneries and outdoor on the lakes. And just now know he competes in all these different kind of tournaments, a lot of the charity tournaments with a lot of some of the other people I also know as well, including I'm pretty sure you've skated with Johnny Schiavo. And one of these tournaments, obviously, I'm rocking his hat right now. I've known Johnny since like 2017, but yeah, so doing a bunch of awesome stuff with hockey, and is a pretty good example of being able to a different way of staying in the game without necessarily just being a professional hockey player. So doing a bunch of other stuff. So Tanner, take us through a little bit of your hockey beginnings and kind of where you've been and what your career kind of looked like until you got into this side of things.
Yeah, I grew up in Calgary, played all my minor hockey here, and then when I turned 14 years old, I moved out to Wilcox, Saskatchewan, and I went to Notre Dame. My dad went there, so it was kind of instilled in me that that's a really good opportunity for me. So I went out there in grade 10. I spent grade 10, 11, 12 there, and then I played my first year junior there in the SJHL for the Hounds. Battled a lot of injuries during my junior career, and I bounced around quite a bit. I played at Notre Dame. I played in Merritt in the BCHL before they moved over to the KI. And that season that I got traded there, they actually finished first in their division that prior year. And I had only played like 14 games my rookie year, so I was pretty stressed out and nervous coming in there, just coming off such a strong year. Things didn't really pan out there. I ended up going out to Manitoba for a couple of months in Swan Valley, and then a couple months there, I ended up out in Nova Scotia. So I went from BC to Manitoba to Nova Scotia in the span of like 3 months.
Jesus.
As a young guy, it definitely takes its toll on you mentally. And I mean, I had been away from home since I was 14, so I was pretty good with that side of things, but it was more so just feeling like I didn't fit in or belong, and like being told that maybe you're not good enough to be in the lineup consistently. So I resorted to alcohol. That was my big thing to kind of cope with what was going on with me with the injuries and getting traded. And then that was actually around when COVID started, when we finished my season in Nova Scotia. And I, at that point, didn't even really like hockey anymore. I didn't want to play anymore. And then we were all in the same boat. We didn't really know what was going to happen with the world. We were kind of going through the same thing together. And I had been working. I had a job that allowed for me to work because I was considered an essential worker. So me and one of my best friends, we travel around Western Canada working. And when you're 20 years old making a lot of money, there's two things you do. You go to work and then you go out every night. So I think I was having a little bit of an identity crisis just because I thought I was going to be done playing. And then 2 weeks left in August, I got a phone call from Estevan and the SJHL. They asked if they acquired me, if I'd go to camp. And this coach, he was a guy I wanted to play for my whole junior career. So I thought it was my last kick at the can. I may as well go for it. And unfortunately, we were there until November. We got shut down because of COVID. And then kind of that identity crisis started to happen again because I was in the mindset that I still wanted to play hockey and maybe I wanted to go try and get a scholarship to go to the States or maybe play youth sport in Canada. And then at that time too, my mental health was still kind of up in the air. I didn't have a full control of what was going on. And then the partying and drinking was still kind of had its toll on me. And then I got sober. It would have been my first year university. So I was turning 21. Got sober, started to go to university, started to do a little bit of public speaking, sharing about my mental health journey in hockey and like alcohol, and then I did a big fundraiser. This would have been two summers ago in August. I rollerbladed across Alberta, so I did a fundraiser for the Canadian Mental Health Association. I started at the BC border and rollerbladed on Highway 1 all the way to the Saskatchewan border in 5.5 days.
Sick.
Yeah, it was crazy. I remember there's a couple like companies trying to get me to wear these like clunky big Velcro strap skates. I'm like, I'm not wearing it. No way. So Mars Blade, I was lucky. Mars Blade helped me out and they hooked me up
Nice.
with some good skates because you can actually mold those and they'll feel comfortable, right? But yeah, we did that in 5.5 days. I raised $7,000 for the Canadian Mental Health Association. And yeah, after that, I was kind of like, I don't really know what's next. Like I kind of built up for this big fundraiser and was promoting it and like did some stuff with some of the big news stations here in Canada. And I'm like, well, now what? It's done. Like, what do I do? So I'm like, well, maybe I'll like start playing hockey again because we have like local senior leagues here. And I mean, the hockey's okay. It's kind of a gong show, but a lot of my buddies are done playing now too. And I was lucky 2 of them wanted to go play senior with me. So we played senior for a season, and then I kind of started exploring like putting content out there involving hockey, not just mental health and like substance abuse. And then an opportunity popped up to do something with Warrior for Bell Let's Talk Day, which was pretty awesome. That was something that aligned with what I kind of started doing social media for. And then through that, it's just kind of taken off, especially in the last year with the skating in the mountains. Like you mentioned, a lot of people have seen those videos. And I think
There's never a moment in a day where I'm more jealous of anything than when I see that, like, so Cookie went to high school at Northwood in Lake Placid, New York. And like, I grew up in upstate New York and we both coached in New Mexico, which isn't the same kind of mountains, but then Cookie coached in Montana. So like the mountains are always calling.
Yeah.
And then I see this video one day, this guy skating on this super flat lake in the mountains. I'm like, who is this asshole? And I'm looking, and you're just skating and like every single fresh cut into the ice. And then that's when I commented. I was like, is that heaven? Like, did I die and I'm watching other people now? This is heaven's social media. And it looks awesome skating in those kind of things, man.
I don't, I want to obviously get more into what you're doing now with, the social media side of things and using that platform. But I do want to back up because I think it's incredibly important. And I know John and I are hoping to do some more episodes about this very topic because whether we've lived it or we've coached in it, it's hugely important. And that is the toll. I mean, we kind of glorify, I got the Youngblood poster right behind me. Like, we glorify that junior hockey lifestyle, and there's a lot said about it, and it is an amazing time, best time of your life if you're doing it the right way. But it's also can leave a massive negative mark on the lives of a lot of young men, and not only the mental health side, like you said, the substance abuse side of it. It's amazing to me, and not knowing you, how you were able to make that choice. But what was kind of the final, we just talked, John will know, we just talked to one of my oldest friends the other day. We did an interview with him, and I asked kind of a similar question. What was kind of the final straw where you said, you know what, something's got to change here?
Well, I mean, I've been on a couple podcasts and they've asked this, and it's, I kept telling myself like something would happen. I'd go out one night and I'd be like, okay, I'm not doing this again because I feel like shit. I'm hungover. Like, I can't even function. I don't remember what I did. And then it was just a revolving door every single time. I'd tell myself, and I'd like try and justify what I was doing to make it seem like oh no, this is normal. Like I have control of this, and I don't. And there was just one particular night that kind of scared me enough into a wake up call, and it was like, okay, I actually have to stop because this isn't only bad for me, but this is also affecting the people I love around me and that care about me. And if they're worried about me, I should be worried about myself. So, and I always say, I think everybody needs just one situation to kind of shake them up a little bit. And it's like, okay, something's got to change. But at the same time, that situation might be your last situation. That could be somebody else's last situation. So it's kind of it's a wishy-washy, slippery slope. Because you never know. Like I was very fortunate; nothing major happened with the last night I ever drank or went out. Like nobody got hurt. I wasn't hurt, but it was enough for me to realize like if I keep going down this path, that could lead to something where somebody gets hurt, I hurt myself, and yeah, it's tricky. Like everybody's story is different, and it's hard to kind of give guidance into other people's situations because I don't know their situation. But yeah,
Yeah, no, that's important because, and that's where I was about to go. This is mentioning my buddy Tyler. His story is different, and not only what led up to the kind of final days, but what that final day was. And John got to hear this story. I was hearing it for the first time too, even though I'm 49. I've known the guy since I was 7 years old, and I hadn't heard this story. And it was one of a close family member that kind of just finally said enough is enough. He confronted him about it, and he had that moment, and like you said, you had that moment, and it's not a cookie cutter thing by any stretch of the imagination. And not going to force you to get into too much detail, but did you actually, once that decision was made, was it quitting cold turkey, or was there steps involved? Was it AA? Was it something else? Did you get help along the way?
yeah. I mean, one time I was very lucky. One of my summer hockey coaches was a former NHLer, Bob Wilkie, played for
Hmm.
the Detroit Red Wings in Philadelphia. He runs a mental health program here in Calgary, so he works with athletes with like goal setting and mental performance.
Yeah.
I had reached out to Bob when in my head, I thought I had control over this still, and I reached out to Bob. I'm like, hey, I want some help, like trying to navigate this a little bit. I think I have control over it. And then during COVID, it was kind of weird because he couldn't do anything in person, so I was doing a lot of online stuff, like one-on-one AA almost, because they were
Yeah.
coming.
COVID was such an obstacle course
I
for
was
people trying to get the minimum of things.
I was gonna say, like, for someone and anyone, and I'm sure there was thousands of people going through a similar thing where they finally kind of come to terms with what needed to be done, and then COVID hits, and it's just a giant kick in the gut. Like, now, how do I go about this? I know I need it, but what do I do?
Yeah,
Especially as a hockey guy where you're so surrounded by like a team environment kind of thing. Like working with other people is something that hockey players don't even realize we're just like we learn to do throughout our lives of playing.
Well, that's
And
what I said.
it's
We
something you gotta do it on
glorify it
your
in a
own.
way too. I mean,
Yeah.
it's part of the quote unquote lifestyle, and and for those of us, and John knows this too. I was never the guy. I didn't play juniors. It wasn't not that it wasn't an option for me. Coming from where I came from, I didn't know it was an option. I did the prep school thing and then off to college. But even in my my very short professional career, I didn't participate in any of that, and it had nothing to do with not wanting to be a part of the team. I just didn't. It felt weird to me. I didn't know how that worked and it probably maybe some of that had to do with I hadn't gone through the junior experience and done all that. So it's it's something as a junior coach, and I think John agrees with this as well. And we were going through that because I think that's really where it starts is more of an education on not even necessarily for the players, but for the people around them about how to kind of understand. At the end of the day, they're playing a high level of hockey. They look like grown ass men on the ice because they are, but at the end of the day, they're still kids and they need that guidance in that direction.
yeah, no, yeah, kind of like I was saying before, like Bob was huge for me. And then just having like someone to relate to who's been through it, because I found when I was doing the online stuff, it was super hard to relate to people on like a personal level. Like obviously they have the book side of understanding, but they didn't understand the hockey stuff. And
Yeah.
that's where Bob came in huge for me, just him being through the whole Swift Current Broncos bus crash and being a part of that team with Graham James and that stuff that took place, having somebody who's been through the hockey scene and understands how it works was super helpful for me. But then after I had kind of thought I had control over it, fast forward to like my last night, it was cold turkey. Like I knew that it was enough was enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it worked for me.
Well, first and foremost, congratulations on that. Like that's actually part of your story I didn't know anything about, because obviously social media we're showing all the great days, and stuff like that. And one thing I've dove into in my adult life is mental health as well, like using it through TikTok and just like doing mental health posts. And then even Cookie and I have talked about it before, just wishing I knew I needed help as a player and even as a young adult and stuff like that. So for you to still be a pretty young guy, to recognize all of this and to really take it on head on yourself is commendable. And I'm sure you've heard it a lot before, but honestly, for doing that, a lot of it pretty much on your own, you can't hear it enough. Like you should constantly be reminded of it's a hell of a feat to get over. So really happy you did that. And I mean, like I said, there's really not much else you can say. It's like that's a huge kudos moment right there, because now we can look at the forward part of your life and everything you're doing, and you're back involved in this game. And I think hockey's a sport that's its own addiction, and people can't get out of it. I mean, I've been on skates since I was 2 years old, and I don't know a time in my life where I didn't have hockey as part of my life. Like even after my playing days were over, I started coaching immediately and doing private lessons. And I think I coached club hockey, and then did that for a few years. And that's where I got into coaching juniors with Cookie. And the last year I coached was in the SIJHL. I was coaching up in northern Wisconsin, and ownership and whatever. I was just like, I couldn't afford to coach anymore, like how badly we were paid. But and then I got involved in the photo and video world, and now I'm fortunate enough to work with the Capitals. We have an outstanding goalie from your neck of the woods with Logan Thompson out here, which I don't know if you guys go to the same mustache barber, but you guys are looking great.
I got a couple of Calgary area boys playing goalie for me down here as well.
Yeah.
And so it's
what is with Calgary and goalies? I don't know.
You know what? Logan's been through it too, man, because he was initially, I don't know if he was drafted or just invited by the Capitals, and went down to the ECHL and worked in, came up through, I think, a little bit in South Carolina and Hershey before he was sent out to Vegas's program before we got him back. And LT is just, he's a goofball, but he's just like the greatest guy. He was an awesome addition to this team. But yeah, I don't know if maybe, like, if I ever move to Calgary, like, do I have to get a mustache? Like, do I have to shave everything else? Or
you might have to. I don't know where he goes. My barber is just over there, the bathroom.
I mean, if I get to skate in those lakes every day, I will 100% go full mustache. Won't even care. Like, but
it's funny. My fiance, her and my mom, she likes it more than my mom. My mom hates it, and I'm like, I'm get rid of it now, because that's kind of how people know me at these tournaments and stuff. They're like, "Oh, that's the guy with the mustache."
You screwed yourself now. Yeah.
Yeah. No, at Wish Cup last year, it was funny. Like the first Wish Cup I went to, that was the year they had Philip Forsberg come. I played in one of the All-Star games, and they had like a little tent set up in the back, and some kid thought I was Philip Forsberg, and I'm like, well, I wish, bud. I wish I was.
I get the twisty ends.
SUV, but no, I thought that was funny. That was probably the highlight of the tournament for me.
Man, did the Capitals fumble the bag on that one. But that's pretty good. And you mentioned Wish Cup. Let's talk about that. So I saw Wish Cup just from Johnny Schiavo's post. Like, I followed him. Me and him, I remember I made a highlight video, one of his trick shot videos on Long Island one day. The day I got this hat, we did a thing there's basketball courts next to the roller hockey rink, and he was making a shot in the basketball hoop from the roller hockey rink. It took us hours. I'm pretty sure I had heat stroke that day because it was 1,000 degrees out there on Long Island. And somewhere I have a picture of this hat soaked the very first day I had it. And We did it. And Johnny's out there on skates this whole time, barely breaking a sweat. He's a freak of nature. But, I mean, he's kind of like one of the first people who went viral for these ridiculous hands that he has. Because when he was at Islanders development camp, he did not so much the Michigan, but he scooped the puck up and put it over his goalie's shoulder. Actually, he played for Merritt, too, I think, in the BC.
I got a funny Johnny story.
Oh, I'm sure. But yeah, John went famous on YouTube with that shot he did over the goalie Pupolo, I think his last name was, which also played in Merritt. It was his teammate there, so he like kind of embarrassed his own teammate at Islanders development camp. And but it was just crazy being out there skating with him and knowing like he did that. And I saw him like kind of go famous for this. Never in my mind was I was like, this is going to be a thing that catches on. I thought it was like a kind of a one-shot thing. And then me and him were skating. I can't remember that he had a private coach that used to play for the Islanders, and then his skating coach was working with guys like Fox was out there and a bunch of other guys from like the national team before they went to the NHL. And now I see these wish cups, and it's just all these guys that are famous for doing this kind of stuff, and they're all phenomenal hockey players.
Yeah.
They're all really, really good hockey players. So, like, how did you get wrapped up? I mean, I'm sure the popularity you got from your fundraiser for mental health helped out quite a bit. But how'd you get mixed up in the whole Wish Cup thing, which, by the way, is a phenomenal tournament?
No, Colby, who runs Wish Cup, he does a unbelievable job. It was funny last year. So I hadn't played organized roller hockey until last year. Like last year was my first year actually like playing in a league and with refs. Like I'd play with my buddies outside on like the outdoor rink, but
right.
I never played on tile before. I knew nothing about like different wheels or anything like that. So then we have it's kind of like Pi Ha, what you guys have, but we have one here. It's called AAP Pro. And it's a pretty good league. It's mostly ice hockey guys trying to play roller, and then we have like a sprinkle of guys who've gone and played like State Wars and Arch Pro.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, when I started to kind of do the hockey content and starting to put some roller stuff out, I was on my way to Sherwood Park for one of our weekends, like our games for our league. And I had gone back and forth with John on social media a little bit just because like you kind of know everybody once you're in that hockey world of the internet. Everybody kind of knows each other, and he had texted me. He's like, "I'm gonna call you in 10 minutes." I said, "Okay, man," because I don't know him. I've never met him. Let's talk too. And so he calls me. He's like, "Hey, are you going to Wish Cup this weekend?" And it's a Monday, I think it was. I'm like, "No, I don't know anybody going. I haven't talked to anybody. Like, didn't even really know much about it. I'd seen a little bit about it on Instagram." Mm-hmm. He's like, "Well, one of our guys broke his finger. Do you want to come play?" And I'm like, "What, really?" And he's like, yeah. Like, we have an open spot. You can come down." I'm like, "Okay, when is it?" Because I didn't even know when it was. He's like, "Oh, it's this weekend. It's Monday." I'm like, "Okay." And I'm like on my way to go play a game, like my own.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, "Okay, let me look at flights. Can I stay with you?" Yeah, totally. We got an Airbnb. Yeah, 100%. I'm like, okay. So I look at flights. They're not bad. But then I also have a game to play, so I'm like trying to get this flight booked. I had to leave. My game was Monday night in Sherwood Park, which is like 3 hours from Calgary. So I drove there, stayed the night, drove back Tuesday, got all set up Wednesday, went to the airport Thursday, came home Sunday from Wichita.
Oh Jesus!
So it was a really quick weekend and like turnaround, but no, it was awesome. And then kind of seeing John in his element and seeing how he interacts with the kids and seeing how like well known he is in the roller community. He's top notch. We call him the DMGM now because he's always firing off messages to get guys for tournaments. He was doing that for Columbus, but yeah, he's been really helpful for me, and he's been a really good guy and somebody for me to kind of lean on a little bit, especially in the last year with my stuff kind of going a little bit viral. Mm-hmm. Him being somebody who's been through it, it's been a good guy to kind of learn from and kind of get some advice from. And and he's awesome. He's a one of a kind for sure.
He's the same temperament 24/7. He's just like a chill. You would think he's Canadian. He's just that kind of guy, and like that's awesome that he reached out. I mean, that's a huge thing too, because Chavo, as great of a hockey player as he was the top roller guy in the world for a long time, if I'm not mistaken, if not the top 5.
He's still up there. He's still got it. He's unbelievable.
Yeah, he's. I remember when he was before he fully was shaving the head too. So I remember way back in those days. But so the Wish Cup now it's a huge charity tournament that raises money for. Is it a children's cancer thing or?
Yeah. So Colby's son, he's a Make-A-Wish kid.
Okay.
So for his wish was to be like a predator for the day with the natural predators. So the Predators granted his wish. And I didn't know this because it's a little bit different here than in the States. But I guess to grant a wish, it's like $10,000 a kid. It's very expensive. And Colby and his
what a kick in the dick, man! Like these kids are going through it.
Totally, no. And so Colby and his family wanted to do something to provide opportunities to grant other kids wishes.
Awesome.
So they started a Wish Cup, and it was for the Middle Tennessee. I can't remember exactly what it was called. So for that chapter to be able to grant kids wishes, and Chavo's been around the tournament since the very beginning. I think Colby kind of leaned on him a little bit to kind of learn how to go about doing these tournaments, just because Johnny's been around doing it forever. In the first couple of years, it was pretty small and not very many teams or people playing in it. And then in the last few years, implementing like the All-Star game with all these influencers, and now
so Nasher goes out to that and his whole squad. And
yeah, like those kids love that guy. Like it was that was my first experience like being around people like that.
Mm-hmm.
Just seeing the way they interact with the kids was so cool, and just I think the Tidal Wave booth who makes like the Columbus Heat jerseys. And sold out of Nasher jerseys in the first day of the tournament.
Holy crap!
Crazy. So, no, Colby's been doing a really good job. This past April, they did a regional tournament at Heatwave Nasher's rink, which I went and played with Johnny at that tournament, which is
crazy.
Cool.
He got so famous on YouTube and stuff. He was able to build his own rink.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. And then
like Cookie, what are we doing?
I ask us that question every freaking day. No idea what I'm doing. I'm coaching the ACHA. That's what I'm doing.
And Colby just announced actually they're going to be having another regional at Corona Inline in California in January. So
that's awesome.
Growing, and the pro division's getting better and better every year. When my first year, our team we were very deep. We didn't end up winning, actually. We lost to Roadrunners in the final. But this past year, the level of play is starting to elevate each year, which is awesome. And I think these pro teams are starting to see the cash prize go up for first place in the pro division. So there's a little bit of a draw and some bragging rights. And it's really good timing for the big three after that with Tours and Arch and State Wars. So it's kind of a good warm-up for guys to get their legs going for the big three. But no,
it's almost like the beauty league for roller.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. And Colby's doing such an amazing job, and I'm super excited to see how far this can keep going and how much better it can get, because it's every year he seems to outdo himself.
Beyond the tournaments and all that that you're talking about, which are great, especially the Wish Cup. I didn't know much about it, and John will tell you kind of how we do these. Is John mentioned you were coming on. I don't know much about you, so it's been great to learn, and that's you keep seeing me look elsewhere and not at the screen here because I'm looking you up. But what is beyond the tournaments and all that, from a pure playing side of things and doing that kind of stuff? What you mentioned, some of what you'd done, and I saw some of the videos John's very jealous of, and I understand why. What is the plan from a social media side for you moving forward, and how you want to use that platform to not only kind of tell your story and help others, but build, for lack of a better term, the brand.
Yeah, I mean, you guys kind of brought it up a little bit earlier, like the identity stuff, and I found myself in a situation where I can be involved with the game, but not as a player or how I had thought I would be involved as a kid. Because when I'm a kid,
Right.
I'm like, oh, I'm going to play pro hockey. I'm going to be in the NHL.
Especially in Canada.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
forced.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have 3 Stanley Cups. And that just didn't happen. And I wanted to find a way for me to be involved with the game. And I think I'm very lucky and have a very good situation living here and having the opportunity to go and on a Saturday go crush 3 lakes in one day and get a little bit of content out of it. It's pretty cool. But no, I think just promoting like positivity within the game, trying to grow this game as much as I can. Like different, I don't want to be like a tunnel vision type person. I kind of want to do a bunch of different things. I'm very lucky that Warrior and I signed with them in March, so I'm officially with Warrior, which is awesome, and they take very.
I saw your video where you're like you had some Warriors. I didn't even know Warrior made skates. Is this a new thing happening?
Yeah.
Is this a
Yeah,
spoiler?
Breaking news.
They dropped a little bit. The stuff they've released recently is that's the pro line, so you'll see a couple guys potentially wear that this year or early next year, 2026. Then they have their retail line coming out in April. I don't know exactly when it's coming out. That's when they kind of release some information and stuff. But yeah, I had the opportunity to go and do a couple shoots with them for their 20th anniversary, and then I'm actually going to be the first guy in a Warrior ad wearing a pair of skates, which is pretty cool. So
That's sick.
yeah, and I'm very thankful they took a chance on me, and I don't have the biggest following. I think I do a good job at what I do, considering I don't have the biggest following. But they took a chance on me, and I'm very grateful that they did, and they take care of me. Which I mean, I just got to use the other day. Like it's pretty cool. And build your own sticks and go on camera, and it's not something I thought I would be doing when I was a kid, being in ads and commercials and stuff.
Well, maybe not in this particular format.
Yeah,
I mean, probably, holding your 4th cup and saying, "Hey, look what I wear."
Yeah, no, it's been cool. I wanna bring positivity to this game. I want to grow this game, especially roller hockey. It's not very big in Canada, especially in Alberta. BC, it's a little bit bigger because they have it year round. But here in Calgary, we have a group of guys. We skate every Wednesday and Sunday. There's between 6 and 12 of us that skate. It's not big, so
I mean, in the winter, regular ice hockey's going on the whole time. I'm sure there's not a lot of places dedicated with an indoor roller rink yet.
Yeah, we have one rink in the whole city with tile, so it's hard to get bookings throughout the winter because of ball hockey and indoor soccer, and so it's something I want to grow. I'm really passionate about it. I like roller more than ice now.
Oh wow!
I like going out to the lakes and skating. Like that's kind of my niche now. You won't catch me playing beer league or senior anymore. I'm over it. I don't want to get slashed.
I'm with you, but that's just because I'm old and fat.
I mean, you want to talk about good mental health? I mean, just put your skates on, grab your gloves, a stick, and a puck, and just go skate on one. Like I'm still stuck on the lakes.
Yeah, I know. It reminds me of being back in Placid though in the Adirondacks because I was able to do that, but that's 30 years ago. So
yeah, in upstate New York, we had tons of ponds and lakes you can skate on. Like played in pond tourneys my whole life, and I loved it. But I mean, Tanner, you're exactly right. Like even playing pond tourneys now, you get someone who just wants to be a hero.
Yeah.
And like I'm just out here because I'm outside skating and playing hockey, and I think it's cool to hang out with all these people. And then there's just always some jackass because like, especially if you're good at hockey, you're gonna play in a league where the guys are better, and where most of the guys get it. You're gonna have 1 or 2 guys that are gonna try and body you out. And I'm like, we're in the middle of a lake. I'm gonna catch a rut and pop my hip any minute. Could we just chill out? I'm just trying to skate.
Yeah.
But so
This is my exercise in my old age. Calm down
yeah,
there, youngster.
yeah, exactly. So does Warrior have a boot where you're able to do for your roller as well?
Yes, I might have one coming in the next little while. So I'll be,
Understood.
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
That's such a cool thing. And one thing is, like you said, you don't have that much of a following. Your following's still pretty decent, but the cool thing about it is the people that are following you now, we're learning that because we're a very new podcast. This is our 17th episode, but we do 2 to 3 a week sometimes. And we have our dedicated sports day. And so one thing we're learning about this is like, no matter who's following you when they're doing it, the people that are following you now, they're authentically following you. They're following you because they think your content is awesome. They want to see your stuff. If you ever need a hookup in Australia, me and Cookie are your guys because our reaction videos are
They
our
love this in Australia. Actually,
our rugby reaction videos. Yeah, our rugby reaction videos are just popping off down there right now.
Who would have known?
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's a cool thing because now everybody that's following you is like they want to see what you're doing. And like you said, you're getting your own identity. Like as funny as it is with the whole mustache thing, like they see you coming and they're like, "Oh, there he is, mustache is here." But it's a cool thing, you know what I mean? It's a thing that makes people smile and laugh when they see you coming, even if that's like the identity thing right now. But they also know you're there to play hockey, and they know you're there to keep up with these damn good players,
yeah,
and things like that. So I mean, with you not having that tunnel vision, like you said, you're in a great opportunity because you're not getting what's the word I'm looking for, like pigeonholed as a one trick pony kind of thing.
yeah. No, totally.
So that's a pretty exciting place to be coming from, and I always thought about I talked to Cookie a lot about this because he was coaching still during COVID, and I'm like, what do these guys that are aging out do? Like their recruiting is screwed, like they don't have that last year to prove themselves. They're just screwed now.
Yeah, it was a tough 2 or 3 years for sure. And so much uncertainty. Yeah.
So, I mean, now, but, for you, it was a good opportunity for you to like kind of right the ship and almost restart for you. So, I mean, how much are you still using that momentum and just putting into everything that you're doing every day?
Yeah, it's been, the last couple of years, like from my first year university until now, like even what I thought my 4-year plan was has completely changed. Like 4 years ago, if you were to ask me what I'd be doing now, I would have been in getting my business degree. I'd probably have like an office job. And that did not happen.
Miserable.
Oh, trust me, what you're doing right now, you're still going to need that business degree to make sure you're not getting screwed over. Yeah.
Yeah. No, like it's like I'm not even in school currently. I took a pivot after my first 2 years of business. I went into psychology because I thought maybe that was something I wanted to kind of dive into a little bit with the mental health stuff.
That's great.
And I'm not a school guy. That's not my thing.
I wasn't either. I didn't finish my degree till I was in my mid 40s.
Yeah. And like that was a hard thing I had to tell myself is you can always come back to it. It's okay. And like I'm so structured and like I have to knock it off the list, and that's just the way I operate, and that just didn't happen. And then I got engaged last September. I'm actually getting married in April, so
awesome. Congrats.
That's happening, and like just
congratulations. Me and Cookie look forward to coming to your wedding, man.
Hi, I just met you.
Yeah, just like a lot of things have changed in such a short amount of time, and I'm really looking forward to this winter. I think last year was a lot of learning. I was doing it. I still do this stuff for fun. I think if you're doing it and you're not enjoying it, you shouldn't do it. But
exactly right.
I know what I need to do now. I can go in with a plan. I'm not just kind of winging it. So I'm looking forward to seeing what I can do this winter, and then a little bit of a teaser, if you will. I think Warrior and I are going to be doing something here in January, so that'll.
I was just about to ask that. It's funny. I was just about to ask, like, now using your partnership and your growing identity and stuff like that, where you can start doing things yourself, and eventually, like, because it'll kind of be like a Nasher thing. You know, Nasher's got his Columbus Heat and all this other stuff, and they go through Wish Cup, and he does his own thing as well. And then you'll be able to kind of do the same thing. It'll be cool to have these very well-known, outstanding hockey players in different parts of North America, and eventually, like, even going overseas and stuff like that. It'll be really cool to have this network of people doing that kind of stuff. Because Johnny's, I'm sure you know, he's originally from Long Island, and now he's out in Minnesota. But yeah, just to be able to do all that kind of stuff and have all those people. How was that community for all those guys? I mean, I know you're kind of the new kid on the block for a lot of it, it seems here. I mean, are they all pretty great guys? I mean, they all seem, every single one of them I see online, I'm like, I want to hang out with them.
I'm going to stop you, John. They're hockey guys. They're fucking good dudes.
That's true. Fair enough. Next question.
No, I think going into, like, my first experience being around, like, I guess those social status, like, top tier people, I was, like, intimidated, like, being there. I didn't think I deserved to be there. I'm like, no one knows who the hell I am. I'm this guy from Alberta, Canada, and some people don't even know where that is. But no, like, just, especially John, like, seeing how he cares so much about everybody else but himself, and he also has all these eyes on him, especially in a roller tournament, just because he's the roller dude.
Yeah.
Just seeing how selfless he was and putting everybody before himself, and, like, even opening up somewhere for me to stay. And he asked me on a Monday. I mean, he let me stay, but, like,
it could have been 6 months ahead of, he probably still would have.
Yeah, but, like, just seeing how he's so, like, caring, and he doesn't have an ego. And I think, like, you look at, I mean, celebrities, I think there's a lot of them that are super ego fueled, and all of these people, I think they're still on earth a little bit. They know where they came from, and without all these people, like, interacting with them, they wouldn't be in the situation they're in. So there's no reason for them to be snobby or dickhead, right? It's, without them, you wouldn't be able to do that for a career. And I at some point, I think I would like for that to be my career. I think I'm a little bit young and I need some stability still, because, like I said a little earlier, I'm very structured. I need to know how much I'm making in this 2 weeks. I can't, like, go with the flow. That's not how I operate. So that'd be super cool to be at that point at some time. But for the time being, I'm just kind of doing what I can do, making sure I'm able to schedule stuff. I'm actually starting a new job next Friday. I'm going to be working for one of the companies my dad contracts for. And then that way it'll allow for me to structure, like, okay, I can go to the lake Saturday, I can bang out 3 lakes, edit Sunday, and then I'm good for the whole week. I can go to work, make money. So
you need an assistant already.
Oh, see. See, here you go.
I was hiring people to do my filming for me, and it's expensive. Like, and rightfully so. I mean, it's unbelievable what people can do with a camera, but it's hard to schedule. Like, it's hard, especially for those lakes. If it snows Thursday night and you want to go Friday, you're fucked, because the weather can change so quick. So I picked up my own camera. I got a couple lenses. I'm very grateful. My fiance is super supportive of all this stuff I'm doing. She'll come out with me, hold the camera, do what she needs to do. I got buddies that are super helpful for me too. They're more than happy to help me out. So it's...
Hey man, if you're ever around here, or for when I finally come up there, I don't travel without my cameras. It's how I make my living. I mean, especially if it's going to be up in Alberta, man. I'm not even on the lakes, just the whole area up there in general. But I'll film for you all day, man. Up there, I'm more than happy to do that for sure. So with these tournaments and everything, and now, like, you're kind of like a rising guy coming up in this kind of thing, and like, hoping to be one of the newer known names out of it all. What do you want people to know about you to approach you at these tournaments?
That's a great question.
I'm learning from Cookie, man. He's good at this.
A lot of like what I've found already is I'm kind of known as like the Canadian because there's not a lot of because like people will go like for Wish Cup for instance, like there'll be guys from Canada there, but they're only playing in the All Star game. That's the only reason they're there, just to play in that All Star game. But I'm playing in the tournament. Like I'm actually there to play and like compete and battle and like try and win, right?
Yeah.
So for right now, I'm known as a Canadian, but I'd like to be known as kind of the mental health guy, but then also like this guy's actually a gamer too. He's not just doesn't just make videos online. Like he can play. Because a lot of the guys, they're really good at what they do, but some of them, you can tell they just like there's people who make skits. They're not there to like play. They're there to like have fun. I'm there to play. Like I want to compete. I want to battle.
Great content opportunities for a lot of those guys out
Yeah,
there.
and like that's people's niches, and that's okay.
Yep.
But I wanna be able to play. Like I wanna be like Chavo. Like that's a perfect example. He has unreal content, but he's a gamer. He can play. He can back up what he posts online, and that's kind of what I want my stuff to speak about me as well.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I tell you what, man, I really hope that you keep doing it. I know it's a grind and like going to work and still being a normal human being while you're trying to keep yourself in the game. I mean, that's something me and Cookie can 100% relate to, just through our careers and everything like that. But you know, keep hitting the tournaments. Like keep everybody updated with your socials and stuff. I mean, like I said, I follow you. I'm sure if Cookie hadn't already, he's about to.
I get on Instagram while we've been talking. Yep.
And you know, this is a great thing, especially with your message and the things that you've done. Like you're in a pretty unique opportunity where you're a person who's lived life, so you can help people through these things.
Yeah, that's kind of where I wanted to kind of finish on my end is, you know, with what, and this is a little, you know, self-indulgent for John and I, 'cause what we're trying to do with our channel, you kind of nail almost every aspect of what we're trying to do with this channel. Obviously the hockey side of things that we, you know, try not to beat everybody to death with, but we're doing it. So
Can't help it.
But, you know, you hit on a lot of things, and I will say this too. You know, we're both, I mean, I'm 49, going to be 50 before I know it. And John's getting up there as well, mid 40s. And, you know, you're doing it at a young age, man. And, you know, I think you're so far ahead of the game from even, I'm not going to speak for John, but I think I probably can. You're so far ahead of the game from where we were at that age.
100%.
And, you know, you're doing it. But where I'm going with that is one of the things we talked about it literally in our last show is, you know, doing what you love, finding what it is that you love and doing it. And it may not end up being the route you thought you were going to take. And you've discovered that, and you found a way to stay in the game in another direction. I mean, I had to do that with my playing career. I went into coaching, and, you know, eventually, probably sooner than I realize, it's going to end up being not coaching anymore. It's going to be something else, but I'm never going to leave the game. But you've also got an amazing story to tell at such a young age, and it's great. And I think that's, in a lot of ways, that's more important than, you know, two old guys like us telling that story, because you can relate more to the guys that are still doing it right now and maybe kind of reach them a little even better. And that's why we love having you on here, because you can tell that story. And hopefully, as we say all the time, we may not be getting a million viewers yet, but, you know, those 30, 40, 50, 200 viewers that we are getting, there might be someone in there that hears your story and it really hits home. And I think that's important, what you're doing, for sure. I mean, the hockey stuff aside, the hockey part of it is the platform that allows you to tell this story. And I think that's just an amazing thing. So keep doing what you're doing, man. It's awesome.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. No, it's funny you say that, because when I first started kind of doing stuff online with the mental health stuff, that was like a big thing I preached was, yeah, I don't know how many people are seeing this video or this post or whatever, but, or even my first public speaking thing, I did a hockey team. One of my former coaches, he was coaching in Calgary, went and talked to his hockey team, did a little speaking engagement, and my big thing was, there might be 30 people in that room, and it might hit home with one kid, and you might change one kid's life just in that.
Oh, I mean, I wish I could get you down here to Missouri to talk to my team. You'd be talking to a lot of guys from your area. I think we got like 4 or 5. You know, we've got at least 7 or, I mean, of our 29 rostered players, 27 are Canadian, and it's mainly BC, Alberta, and Saskatchewan guys. We got 2 from Montreal area, but a lot of guys from your area. Like I said, 2 guys. Well, 2 goalies from your area, Calgary and Blackie, and then you just kept every town you kind of mentioned throughout this process of going, yeah, we got a guy from there. Yeah, we got a guy from there.
I wonder if he knows any of your players.
Well, I'm pulling up my roster here to figure out who's from who, because I mean, they're all younger than you, but not like massively younger. I mean, I think we've got what, 4 or 5 guys from Sherwood Park alone. So yeah, and then St. Albert and Canmore, and yeah,
maybe that's part of the content tour for Tanner this year, is to swing down to Missouri to go see a Drury.
I lied. We have 2 Calgary guys. I lied. There's 2 from Calgary.
You know what, though? Cookie's team, they do well. I mean, some games they'll bring 1,200 people to a game for club hockey. I mean, a lot of people hear club hockey and are like, oh, Lord. But, I mean, club hockey's turning into it's a thing for a lot of these guys.
A couple of my boys played, and they loved it.
Yeah, we had a fun first year at Division I last year. Finished number 8 in the country and made it to the quarterfinals, so it was fun. But it's all because we're full of Canadians. That's coming from the American here. Yeah, we just loaded up with Canadians.
We're 2 Americans that desperately wish we were Canadians. We're not afraid to admit it.
Yes, absolutely.
So, but
you might say that now, but then you come here in the winter and you might.
Oh no, that's when we want to be there. I know I'm speaking for John on that one. That's what I mean. I coached for a year in Marquette, Michigan. I coached in Missoula, Montana before I came here. The colder, the snowier, the better.
When I was in northern Wisconsin, some of the teams we played were like, we played against like Thunder Bay and Fort Francis over there in Western Ontario, and then we played a couple teams that were 6 hours north of the border. Like one of them was a straight Indian reservation. They had a special parking lot just for snowmobiles.
Yeah.
And so I loved it up there. It was hostile. Yeah. But I loved it up there. I don't recommend going there for vacation. The hotel was less than glorified. But that's, you know what though? I mean, you were in juniors. Cookie's been coaching forever. I played and coached juniors. That's an experience nobody can really take away. And with everything that you went through, I know it resonated just simply because Cookie and myself had a player that was going through that, and where you excelled and came out on top. Unfortunately, we were with an ownership group that honestly, I'll say it publicly. Yeah, he just wasn't. He was more of an enabler, and instead of like saying, "Hey, we need to help this kid out," traded him to a place that's known for just debauchery. And so, it's a big deal that you came out on that other end and you pretty much did it solo. I mean, you knew enough to get help from somebody and talk to somebody. And I mean, honestly, like I said, I had no idea that was part of your story. And that's a massive thing to learn, and just the world of respect with that in itself. So
thank you very much.
Well, thank you for coming on and telling that story, and hopefully we can get you back on again, because, like I said, you definitely have a story to tell.
We'll be more than happy to. Yeah, like I already share all your videos because I'm just furious with you every time you post them. But
you're just an angry little man.
I am, man. It's just like I just want to be there skating on that. Like I just want to.
I want to come out. General, I wasn't even with that. It was just generally speaking.
Yeah, true. But we look forward to seeing more of what you're doing. We look forward to seeing more of these tournaments you're going to play in, and honestly, we hope to start seeing the people commenting like, "Thanks so much for meeting us at these tournaments," and stuff like that. I mean, like you might not host Stanley Cup, but the way you can still get people to look at you just because the influence you're making can still be the same.
Huge. That's huge.
And that's a lot. You got a lot to look forward to, man. And we look forward to seeing it as it grows for sure.
No, thank you. I appreciate you guys having me on. I have one more little funny story because you guys are loving this lake stuff.
Yeah.
I'm definitely. He's just angry. I'm loving it.
No, I'm. The anger comes from a good place.
That's rare.
You guys seen that ODR Heaven page?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
they put like all the unbelievable rinks all over the world. So last winter, it had just like started to snow and get cold here, and like I have my methods of knowing when the ice is frozen. I'm not gonna expose that because I need to keep it alive. But
You need to be the pro. You need to be
yeah,
the pro.
yeah,
Yeah.
I need to show up, and there's nobody at my spots when I want to skate. But so this post was made. It was a collaborative post, and this guy was skating, and I'm like, that's in Alberta. I know 100% that's in Alberta. So I click on the guy's profile. His name's Jordan. I'm good buddies with him now, actually. And I message him like, hey man, I seen your video on ODR Heaven. Where is that? So he sends me the link, and he's like, well, actually, we're going on Wednesday. Like, do you want to come with us? I'm like, oh, it's kind of weird. Like, I don't know this guy. Why not? Sure. I'm like, yeah, I'll bring a net. He's like, what? A net? I'm like, yeah, I'll bring a net. I'll bring the truck, and then I'll strap down a net because I have one of those nets that folds up, the easy
Oh
fold.
yeah.
It's like a 3-hour drive from my house. And this was in November, end of November, early December, and it was like minus 25 outside. It was freezing, icy. Left at 4 o'clock in the morning, get to this lake. It was a 3-kilometer hike. So we unstrapped this net, hike down this mountain, 3 kilometers down to the lake. It was a hot commodity. It was the coolest thing ever. There was random people coming and shooting on this net because you go to these lakes, everybody's got a puck, but no one's got a net.
Yeah.
There was like 30 people buzzing around shooting on this net, and then we were there for a couple hours, and then we had to hike this net back up, and that was not ideal, but the content we got out of it, and I think that was probably the first time that a net's ever been on that lake, so
That's awesome.
I think I got that feat.
That's very
Man.
cool. By the way, John, I had to do the conversion for both you and I. Minus 25 is minus 13 for us. So either way, it's freaking cold, and I love
Yeah.
it. Give me more of that.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, that's what a cool thing. These all these kids that skate that lake all the time, and all of a sudden a net pops
That's
up.
really cool. Yeah.
That'd be Christmas morning for those guys, man.
Yeah, no, it was cool, and like I bought that net. I got it off Marketplace for like $20 from some farmer, some lady that was a farmer all the way in the south. And she's like, "Oh, you play hockey?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I'm just using this to like the lakes." She's like, "Oh, really?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "You're gonna hike with that thing?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, 100%." But no,
I mean, if you're not staying in shape, nobody is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no, but no, I always found that myself too. I'd like go, and then I kind of get bored of stick handling and like skating. I'm like, I need a net, so I bought it.
I mean, did you ever think about getting some of the pond hockey nets they have, like at least just the little ones, or
Yeah, I
kind
have.
of boring?
I have one of those. I always have one of those in my car. I always have one of those because you'll never know when you need it. But
Mhm.
the big net. I want to get a goalie this winter. I want to get a goalie out there. That's
Oh yeah, get the net, get some of those magnetic targets.
yeah.
But I mean, here's the flip side of that: until you shoot and you miss, how far are you skating to get your puck?
There's
Doesn't
about
matter at that point. You're on the lake.
there's about 800 comments on TikTok saying that. Oh, you missed your net. You're going for a skate. Blah blah blah. Yeah.
That's why you're there. That or
I
just
just
grab a
say,
different puck.
who cares, man? You're skating on a lake. It's awesome.
Or just don't miss.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
too. Well, you haven't seen us play.
Yeah, why is Tanner's accuracy so good? Tanner's sick of skating 6 miles to chase a puck.
There's a reason my career ended, and it wasn't because of injuries. Actually, it was, but there was other reasons too.
I tell you what, man, the next sponsorships for you are GoPro or at least Insta or something like that. They need to start sending you stuff, and then any of these other, like one of the drone companies. I don't know about up in Canada, but in the U.S. they're starting to ban DJI drones. But get another drone. I got my drone pilot's license. I'll come fly those things, man. You might not get me to pay attention to you the whole time. I'll be getting the scenery, but just what a cool place to be in where it's all around you.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in Virginia. I'm right outside DC. Nothing freezes here. I think we had
I'm in Missouri. There's definitely nothing freezing here.
Yeah, I think we had the reflecting pond on the National Mall freeze last year for a little bit, and people immediately got arrested for trying to skate on it. So, and now the National Guard's there, so they're gonna get shot. But here they go. Here they come knocking on my door. But yeah, it's just to be in an environment where you have all that around you. I mean, it's impossible to rip you from the game. And now here you are trying to grow something in Canada that's not even, I never even thought about it not being big up there. But I mean, it makes sense because you got box lacrosse, ball hockey, and all that up there. But, you know, Tanner, keep going, man. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome following your content. Your stuff is always really good. And we look forward to seeing more of it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you coming. Tell your fiance thank you for letting us borrow you for an hour here as well.
Well, I got to go to hockey here right away, too. So.
Perfect. All right, man. You get on your way, and we appreciate it for sure. We'll talk to you soon.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
See ya.
See ya.
There we go. So that's Tanner Mortenson. So much more to the story than I'd even knew about or could have imagined. And what a cool story it is, because a lot of times you hear about people, oh, I played juniors, I got hurt, it didn't work out. He's got such a deeper story than a lot of people. And, you know, he found a way, and he did it at such a young age. You know what I mean? Like, look at what Tyler was talking about. He was getting married and a full ass adult when it came to terms. And
Yeah.
Tanner's a young guy doing it and surrounding himself with some pretty big names in that industry. And, you know, I almost felt bad sometimes because we kept talking about Shabo, but it's funny because he's such a fan of him. And so, really, really awesome to have him here. So,
No, he's, as I told him, he's got, and I truly mean this, he's so far ahead of the game at a young age. And some of that is because of his experience. He didn't have a choice. I mean, it's one of those things you grow up fast. I mean, you know, this has been a conversation with even like the colleges that we work with. They don't, especially, and I'm not going to sit here and bash on Drury at all. I love Drury. I love the people I work with, but they don't understand hockey. And part of that conversation is our guys, hockey guys in general, especially at the higher levels, like we're doing. Our Division III team has kids out of high school and that, but our guys are coming from a higher level. They have been away from home since they were 14, 15, 16 years old. They play until they're, 21, depending on their birth year. And they're just used to the process. So trying to explain to them when they come into the school as a freshman, first of all, they're the oldest freshman on campus.
yep.
They're used to being away from home. They don't need to be, I mean, yes, we need to take care of them and make sure things are going right, but they don't need to be coddled like a 17, 18-year-old freshman who's leaving home for the first time in their life. These guys have been away from home for 5-6 years. Like they're, they know how to kind of handle the process. And, but with that comes the negative side of it that, Tanner talked about, that you and I have seen firsthand. There are the negative side of it. And having the support system in place isn't, especially in the past, wasn't always there. It's getting better to a point, but because of things we're going to talk about in future episodes, and when you talk about the money involved, the massive amounts of money involved, everybody thinks they're going to start a junior team and make all this money, this and that, and there's so many things that get pushed aside, including properly taking care of these young men. And we've seen it firsthand. As much as we mentioned, we're not going to get into names because that's, that wouldn't be right. But, we were in a situation with a team in New Mexico. I mean, I can say that because there's not only two teams we coached together, and it was New Mexico. Yeah. I've been in situations with other teams I've coached, whether I was the head coach or the assistant coach, where, there were situations that I wanted to be able to deal with in a, not just a professional manner, but an empathetic manner, and to help these kids. And I was working with people that were just like, well, no, we don't need that. We don't need that drama. We don't need this and that. Let's just trade him. Let's do this and that. I'm like, well, that's not why I'm here, man. If that's why you hired me, then I'm out. Like,
That's transferring a problem.
That's transferring a problem. I said in a previous episode, my job was, as a junior coach, I saw it was to get these kids better. I didn't want to trade guys because they weren't good enough.
Yep.
If there was a serious discipline issue, that's one thing. I don't see a kid that has a mental health issue, even an alcohol issue. I mean, that is a discipline thing, no questions asked. But there's a difference between, guys doing something stupid, getting drunk, and there's a difference between that and needing to deal with that from a disciplinary side of things, and maybe they should be traded somewhere else, as compared to situations you and I have seen firsthand where kid needs help.
Yeah.
No question, kid needs help. This isn't just junior guys going out and having a few beers and doing something stupid. This is a kid that has a serious problem. He needs help, and we are not given the proper tools to do that, and it becomes an issue.
Well, I mean, in our situation with our guy, and like honestly, at this point, I don't care if he hears this and takes offense to it. Not only were we not given the tools, but we weren't given the green light to actually say, hey, we're not a coach right now. How can we help you as a person?
Yeah.
Because we had an owner that, in my personal opinion, just didn't care.
Yeah.
And he just wanted to get rid of it because he started a junior team, so his kid had a place to play, which is ridiculous because his kid was a good goalie
And a great kid.
and a great kid, outstanding guy. He could have played anywhere anyway, but he did it because he wanted it, and he thought he was going to go win a championship because he owned the team, and he did it for his own personal clout. And then we had this player that just was really going through something, and the people that cared were his. We had great guys in the team that took care of him, looked out for him, and we wanted to, and he's like, nope. Get rid of him, and that was it. It just wrote him off, and I think about that a lot because it's like I don't know what's up with the kid now.
Right, exactly. Where is he?
And I worry about that kind of stuff, and it's a bigger issue than what we had because it was a problem before we got him.
Yeah,
and
which we found out later.
Yeah,
we didn't know when he showed up, but we did.
No.
We found out when it was when the situation had already happened.
And if you're coaching sports at an amateur level of any, whether it's hockey and it's the tier 3 or it's the NAHL or the USHL, or if you're coaching like one of these big baseball leagues or basketball leagues, whatever sport it is that you're coaching, you're dealing with these guys. If you're a coach that's only a coach and you're only looking at wins and losses, you're the wrong person for the job.
Yep, 100%.
You need to be wearing multiple hats. You need to be looking out for the future of these kids. Because let me tell you, we said it at our meetings, and anytime we were recruiting kids, we both said it. I've heard us both say it: is we want a player to come to us. We want them to leave as a better person than when they came to us. Yeah. And we wanted everybody to know it's like, listen, we're here to make you better hockey players, but we want to make you better people. We are here for you. And, unfortunately, not a lot of coaches have that mindset. But now you're seeing it even at the professional level. I'll tell you what, I'll speak personally in Washington with Spencer Carberry. The team does so well under him in Washington with a team that nobody gives a chance to because they play for him because they know Carberry genuinely cares about everybody on the team. That's an NHL level coach. And he's doing it there.
I will counteract something you said a second ago a little bit, that there's not a lot of coaches doing that. I think what the real issue is, I think there are a lot of coaches doing it, but the more vocal of those are the ones not doing it. The ones, you hear more from the people that want to tout their record, and so they're the more vocals. It's the guys that are, and you know who they are because they're staying in the same place for a long time. Now, that's going to sound counterintuitive considering how much I moved, but I moved a lot because of this very reason, where I was working with ownership where they didn't give me those resources. And there were other reasons too, but they're also guys that are doing it for the right reasons and are doing a great job of it, and are the fortunate ones. Again, this is for another episode, because this is absolutely another episode we've talked about, is you've got ownership and coaching staff and auxiliary staff that are on the same page with why they're doing it. And what these owners that aren't doing it the right way don't quite get is those guys we're talking about are also uber successful when it comes to wins and losses and getting guys into school, because they're doing everything is kind of comes together in the end, and they're in it for the right reasons. And that's where the success comes from. When you're doing it the right way and teaching the right way on and off the ice, all of a sudden, well, now you are winning games. So
guys will play for that guy. But
this is the part those people don't understand. But again, I do want to save that for another episode, because I don't want to go full negative here, because there's no reason to go full negative, because Tanner's story, while he had that negative moment in it, Tanner has created an unbelievable positive out of it. And I'm 100%, for those that are watching, I said it to Tanner, I don't know anything about Tanner, and I will be full disclosure, when John was like, "Oh, he's one of those guys that has gone, does the social media hockey thing and all the viral," I went, "Okay, all right, let's back up." And full apologies to Tanner, because that was my first thought. Because I see a lot of those guys, and there's very much an old school hockey guy in me that looks at that and goes, "All right, well, I don't need the trick shot shit and all that."
He's not even doing much of that stuff. I think
No,
it's just
I
more
know,
the
but
content
that's
stuff.
again,
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about him, and when you said that, that's the first thing that comes to my head. And that's not even a shot at your buddy Schiavo, because I know he's a competitor. I've watched him. I texted the other day. I go, "Is that the same guy?" I found that 3-on-3 league. I didn't even know existed.
That goal, that scoop goal he scored in full
But
play.
I was watching the game live on ESPN. I go, "They're talking about this Schiavo guy." I had to text you. Goes, is this him? And you're like, "Yeah." I go, yeah, he's competing. It's these other guys that are just doing the bullshit, not actually competing. And I'm going, man, I wish I'd see them compete, because it wouldn't be the same. And again, that's some of the bullshit, admittedly bullshit, old school guy in me that I should know better, give people a chance, even the guys that I kind of roll my eyes at. Like, because at the end of the day, this is the part I have to understand. They are doing a good job of growing the game as well.
Yeah. There's one guy, he's in all the things, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he's known for all these trick shots and stuff, but he's a guy who had severe concussion problems and couldn't play anymore.
That's probably the guy I'm thinking of, because he's everywhere.
Yeah, and his story was told, I think, at the NHL All-Star game in Florida a couple years ago. And then there's that Swaggy P guy.
I don't watch the All-Star game. It's boring.
Then there was that Swaggy P guy that he actually came to DC that's blowing up. He's also in the 3 Ice League, so he's still a player. And I don't really know much about his story, but let me tell you something about Swaggy P as what he's doing as far as content and internet and growing hockey. He hustles, man. So he was at a Capitals game and did his trick shot stuff between periods. I sent him some photos and said, "Hey, you don't know me. I actually work for the Capitals. I was there. I got these photos," and sent them to him. And then he's like, "Is there any chance you could put this in a GIF file to send to me?" And I was like, "Yeah, no problem." It was not even the third period yet. Halfway through the period, he's like, "Hey, were you able to do that?" I'm still shooting the game.
Still working, bud. Still working.
And I'm like, "I still got some stuff to do afterwards." I'm like, "I'll get it to you tomorrow." And it was like 8:00 in the morning. He goes, "Hey, how's that looking?" And like, kudos to him for being adamant about it.
Sure.
And wanting it. But you and me, we're in the age of like, that wasn't part of our game.
No, and this is the learning process that you and I talk about all the time. I have to keep reminding myself, like, the game is different. I'm not going to sit here, and I haven't been this part of it anyways. I'm not going to sit here and be those grumpy old bastards on, whether it's on ESPN or NHL Network, bitching about people doing the Michigan.
John, you want to be Don Cherry and John Tortorella over there?
You know what's funny? It's funny you mentioned Don Cherry. I'm probably one of the few hockey guys in the world that's never really been a big fan of Don Cherry.
He's never liked anybody. I remember when he hated Americans, and then we started getting the Euros, he couldn't stand them.
I'm just not, and I've just never been a fan of that. That's taking old school and turning it into shtick.
Yeah.
And I just didn't care for it. And I was kind of like that way in a smaller sense about Barry Melrose for a while, but I do know Barry Melrose is also a really good dude, like a genuinely good guy. And obviously he's going through some stuff now, but he kind of pulled the wannabe, Don Cherry look and everything for a while. But that, again, he's a genuinely good guy. But I have to keep reminding myself that, like you said, we didn't grow up with that. I didn't have that skill set. Still don't. Never did. Wasn't my game, even if I wanted that skill set.
The Michigan, Mike Legg did the Michigan in 96, I think.
Something.
95. That was towards the ends of our careers for a lot of it.
Well, no, I retired in 99. Shut up.
I was in high school.
I had graduated. I retired 99. But no, like, joking aside, I have to remember, even the guys that I still will roll my eyes at them, because part of me just still goes, "Oh my God, I'd love to see that guy with a full team on the ice and see what really happens." It's not going to happen. But even saying that is just being ignorant and stupid, because that's just not what it's about. That's just not what it's about. It's about growing the game, and they're helping grow the game. They're bringing it to a younger audience. It's like and this is where I'm really stupid because I've mentioned it many times. I watch a lot of the YouTube golf channels. I don't watch a ton of PGA golf. I love golf. You know that. I love PGA golf. I can't sit there and watch a whole tournament unless it's a major. I'm not watching live for a lot of reasons. But
Cookie wants maxi golf to happen.
no, I really don't. But I will watch YouTube golf all day long. In fact, I watched it today when I got home from work, and I'll probably watch it as I'm going to bed tonight. It'll put me to sleep and make all the jokes you want about that. But
Golf will put me to sleep.
there you go.
I only don't like it because I suck at it.
T-ball, John. There you go.
Just I Happy Gilmore that ball.
Yeah. But it's the same concept. If from a golf standpoint, it's the same concept. There's probably a lot of old school golfers going, "What are you watching that YouTube bullshit?" But they're growing the game, and they are growing hockey. The problem with both those sports, two of my favorite sports besides baseball and cricket, and actually you could put both of these in that too, but especially the two sports that I probably love the most as far as playing, hockey and golf. In another episode, multiple episodes, so fucking expensive. And this is why I would love to get some of these YouTube golf guys on our podcast, because I want to do it carefully because I don't want to come off sounding like an absolute prick. But they're all getting so big, so massive. And at what point do you run the risk of becoming too corporate? And I think that's happened to a couple of them for sure. And a couple others that I watch that I love are in danger of that happening.
You know, and that's the thing about Tanner that I really appreciated. Like he's
so humble, man.
He comes from a country where hockey is it, and it's not even their national sport. Lacrosse is. But like he comes from Canada where you grow up with hockey, and like you said, like every other Canadian kid, he wanted to raise a Stanley Cup and play in the NHL. And now he's talking about doing a roller, and the first thing out of his mouth is he wants to grow the game. Like he wants to grow a game that's already popular, and honestly, roller hockey is probably a pretty easy sell.
I go back to my ignorance because for years I was one of those guys as an ice hockey guy that looked down upon roller.
You remember pro beach league hockey with the ramps at the end?
Oh, I'm so pissed because there was like 3 or 4 different times I wanted to bring it up to him specifically to say, who can you talk to about bringing back the pro hockey league? Because I will watch highlights and I missed the pro roller league with the ramp behind the nets.
There was fights in that league. It was
Really
contact.
jacked up uniforms they were, where it looked like they were wearing practically dress.
What do you think?
Quite literally on the beach in California.
Yep. And I mean, just scorching heat.
Yeah, but they had the ramps behind the net.
Dude, it was awesome. It was awesome.
So good.
I actually played adult league with a guy in Florida. His name was Mike Powers. He played in that league.
Oh, a teammate of mine, my rookie year in Oklahoma City, was one of the big names in that league. Hardy Sauter. He was,
dude.
Yeah, Hardy was a big name.
That is so awesome. But yeah, and it's funny because Tanner's like, yeah, I want to grow the game. He's a young kid. He's a young kid thinking like how an old head would think about wanting to grow and advance and like do good for the people around him. And the thing that stuck out to me the most when he talked about when I said, when you look at these guys, it wasn't like the moves and how good of skaters or their shots or how they played or how cool they look. It was all he talked about was how they interacted with the people around him. Yeah. And that just right there is like he's looking at the right things.
Dude, he and that's why I was trying to come across to him like he's so far ahead of the game because he gets it.
Yeah.
He absolutely gets it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's why I asked him. I was like, well, how do you want the people to be able to think of you when they approach you? And I think it's funny because for him, he probably doesn't think about it because he's already there. Well,
I think that's part of it for sure. And again, this is coming from someone that doesn't really know him, but I did go look and he even said it. He doesn't have, I mean, good God, we have more YouTube followers than he does. He doesn't have a ton of Instagram followers. He's still building that brand for him. That's why I brought that up at the end. But I think that's part of it is, yes, he might be that guy. Like he'll show up to a tournament and people will be like, oh, there's the Canadian with the mustache. But he's also not quite that guy yet. But he will be because, and the reason I know he will be, and I know he's going to be successful and he's going to be able to spread the word, you know, his story so well is because he is humble. I mean, he's Canadian. What are you gonna do?
He's born awesome.
I mean, he's very humble, clearly very, very intelligent when it comes to a lot of things, but not the least of which is what he's trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
And he also, that humbleness shows in the fact that he's not trying to get ahead of himself. He knows this is a process. It's a long process, just like we talk about with our channel.
Yep.
It's not an overnight thing. And yet, at the same time, he still wants to compete. And that's my favorite part. Like, from a coaching standpoint, he's doing all this, but he doesn't want to be that guy that's just, and I know this isn't what he does, but he doesn't want to be the guy that's just the trick shot artist or just doing stuff on the lakes, although I would do that for the rest of my life if I could.
I would build a house in the middle of the lake.
Good Lord, man. Like, that's the dream. I mean, I got to do that obviously in New York, but also in Montana, and it's the dream, man. And a little bit in Michigan, but he just gets it. I can't say that enough. He just understands that, he's doing it for the right reasons. He's doing it the right way.
Yep.
And dude, that's an impressive guy, man.
It really, like I said, I didn't really know him either. I knew him from what I followed him, and like I've commented on some of his things. And one thing that stuck out to me right away is like when I saw his videos that were going viral, I thought he was already this huge name. I never looked at the followers or anything just because of the way it's presented. I think he's got like 44,000 something followers on Instagram. But like when I would comment on stuff, he'd reply. He engages with people, and I think it seems like that's just something he loves. He loves talking hockey with people, and he likes being like an inclusive part of it.
Yeah, and what he needs to realize, he keeps doing what he's doing. He's going to come to a point where he can't reply to everybody because he's going to become a big thing. And
I hope he still likes us at that point.
You absolutely, Tanner. I hate to keep bringing it up, but you fucked yourself with the mustache, bud.
You know what though? It works. Like I said, LT's got one too.
You're like, remember I used to watch this show, Gas Monkey Garage.
Oh yeah.
Aaron screwed himself with the beard, and the reason I know that is because that was back home, and we had mutual. I never met him, but we had mutual friends from when I was in the music and photography thing. And some of the girls he used to date were some of the models that we had and all this stuff, and he hated that fucking beard, but he couldn't get rid of it because of the TV show. It was the trademark for him. So
well, you know what? I mean, he's playing these games, and it sounds like he's a heck of a player. So maybe he can still alter it and make noise in performance.
He looks like he's a pretty big dude.
Yeah, I don't think he's a small guy. I mean, that warrior video shoot, he looks pretty tall.
Trying to see. I don't think his height and weight. I don't know. Oh yeah. Oh no, he's not as big as I thought. 6 foot 175 according to Elite Prospects. He just looks bigger in some of these photos.
But and not to mention, let that speak volume. He's already got to deal with Warrior, and he's not this hundreds of thousands of followers.
I was gonna say that's kind of, and I got sidetracked. That's kind of where I was going with it. Where he, as we saw in, we're an hour and 20 into this, but really with him it was just under an hour. But we could see that special quality in that short period of time, and we're clearly not the only ones. Warrior wouldn't do that. I mean, they're going after NHL guys and all that. They're not going to go after a guy. And again, I think he would agree. This is no offense to him. He's got less than 5,000 followers on Instagram. He's got even fewer on YouTube. I don't know how much YouTube he does.
We'll check back with this in a year. We'll see where that is.
Yeah, YouTube, he's got 355 subscribers.
Anybody watching this, like, please go follow, go over there.
Yes, go find him.
See his stuff.
Tanner.Mortenson27 is his YouTube. He's on
Good number at the end there, eh, Cookie?
Oh yeah, it's a great number. I wish I'd noticed that earlier. That's his Instagram too. Oh, okay, Tanner, you're the man. He doesn't wear that in roller though. He's wearing like all sorts of random numbers in roller. All his roller photos are different numbers.
I mean, he's in a lot of roller photos, different teams. That's
47, 15. What is that one? I can't even tell what that one is. 20. He looks, when I just look at some of these videos, he looks like he's like 6'4".
On wheels.
anyways, but no, that was awesome, man. That was really cool.
Yeah, huge. Like I said, I mean, I only knew him from his stuff, and I just thought his content was really cool, and I thought it'd be cool to get him on. So learning that about him was pretty great. And for a person I already respected, like I just have a world of respect now, and I don't just hope it. I know the kid's gonna have a world of success ahead of him. Yeah, he's gonna be awesome, and I just look forward to seeing more. We'll have to when we start taking stuff on the road, we're gonna. I mean, Alberta's on the list anyway, but now we got someone we can do some stuff with.
Well, and I was serious when I said get him on again, and it's not just because of all this stuff. Like his story is important to tell, and he, part of the youth part of him shows in that he's still learning how to tell his story, and he will. And the more he learns how to tell his story. I love that he's doing speaking engagements, talking to teams. I wasn't kidding. I wish I could get him to talk to our team. Maybe that's something in our video room, we can get him on a Zoom or something. Cause I guarantee you, even though I didn't see any, well, that's not true. I don't know. Maybe our guys from our team following him. I'm sure there's plenty of guys on our team that know who he is just because of location.
Yeah.
So we'll have our first team meeting here in about a week and a half. So I'll ask.
There you go. Maybe get your team to start watching the damn episodes.
But, well, it depends. I haven't told them yet. There's been some hesitation on my part. Well, it's funny. We can talk about this even on the recording. I was going to tell you, there's been slight hesitation to me. I've come this close multiple times of sharing it on our team social media.
I think we'll wait till the season gets in there. That's kind of a weird thing.
But because our number one goalie, Joseph Cachazo, he actually has a podcast with a buddy of his back home. It's all audio. They do one too. That's pretty cool. Mainly about juniors and stuff. He does a good job. So
there you go. That'd be a cool thing to have.
I can promote both at the same time, so it doesn't look like I'm just doing.
The way you do it is you have them on ours.
Oh, Joseph's great. I don't know who his buddy is he does it with. It's buddy is from back home. He's a BC guy, Mission BC, but
nice. Yeah. But yeah, that was a very pleasant surprise with learning more about Tanner there, and
cool. Unexpected for sure.
And I'm gonna say this at the end of the episode here. We'll sign it off. When I first told Cookie I'm gonna ask this guy Tanner to come on. He didn't see the last name, and Cookie goes, "What do you say?" He goes, "If I get on there and I see Tanner Doty, I'm gonna freak out or whatever.
I'm gonna burn this bastard down."
So Doty, we're gonna give you shit, even though he's probably actually out in New York by now, getting ready for his season. But Doty, we're still gonna be more than happy to give you shit all these years later.
But I don't want you on this fucking show.
Love you, Doty. But
God does.
Cookie's the same guy, kid. But yeah, so that was Tanner Mortenson. Obviously, all the links are gonna be down there. Awesome having him. We went from a solid hour to just more bullshit for another 30 minutes.
We do it all the time. Yeah. Make sure, as always, we say it, like and subscribe, comment down below, and then share it. Share it. After you have subscribed to the channel and after you've liked the post or the video and after you've commented, share it to all your friends and family. And I'm saying this to my own friends and family that haven't done jack shit.
Yeah, our own friends and family hate us. But as we're getting off here, I have something really important I need to do. I need to go back and watch the Kelsey episode with Taylor Swift because me and Cookie was watching. You saw him scream at me in the beginning, but me and Cookie are absolute Taylor Swift fans.
I watched the first hour before we started doing this, and all joking aside, it's really good. And as I texted John when it started, there's probably gonna be a lot of news media outlets and entertainment shows and whatnot. They're gonna be pretty pissed off because she saved telling the full story of buying back her master copies.
Really?
For the Kelsey brothers.
And I think she waited to announce her album.
I didn't get that far yet because we had to do this, motherfucker.
But I just saw a clip of it. So
well, no, the clip's been out there, so that's not breaking news. But when we're actually, I said earlier I'm gonna go back and watch golf stuff. That's not true. I'm gonna go watch what I missed.
Dude, she's so like people that hate on her. I get so mad at the people that hate on her because nobody has any good reason to hate on her other than jealousy.
I will say this, and it's probably not going to change a damn thing, and especially with how many people are watching this right now. Anybody that hates her, and I mean this seriously, go watch this, the New Heights. We're promoting another podcast, but that's fine. It doesn't need promotion. I texted John at one point because they did the premiere. This was an edited, they had already recorded it, it was edited, all that. But they did it as a premiere. Those that know on YouTube how premieres work, it comes across as live. Like it's not, you can't fast forward. It is what it is at the time. Now, once it's over, you can go back and do all that. But at one point before I stopped watching in the live, and this has got to be a YouTube record, I think. It would have to be. They were at 1.2 million viewers.
Dude, there's nobody on this planet that has ever been looking forward to a release of a podcast episode like this. There's not a single podcast episode.
And it's not, it's a double thing. I think everybody's making the big point about her being on there. I think it's as much as not just her being on there, but her and Travis together. They haven't done a lot of stuff together where you can hear them talking together and you can see the two of them together. And not to get all
I've seen it's so genuine. It really is.
Yeah, that's what I say. Not to get all sappy and all that stuff, but man, you see the two of them together, especially this. Oh my God, it's
awesome.
Fuck all you pieces of shit that think it's a PR stunt. Just go watch this. It's unbelievably real.
Here's my final thoughts and all the people that hate so much whenever like she's at an NFL game and the camera shows her, or like if it's something to do with her and they're talking about Jason Kelce in Kansas City or Travis Kelce and but even when they do talk about Jason, because like he's obviously close friends with her, the thing that's working out in everybody's favor throughout this is the growth of each industry and each brand.
Yeah.
I don't care what you say. I don't care how big the NFL is. Because of Taylor Swift,
it's even bigger.
It's grown exponentially. And let me tell you, there's a lot of people that are Taylor Swift fans that could have gave a shit about football that are now like, oh, okay, I'm going to watch some games now. Even if at first it's to see Taylor in the stands or in the suite, they are watching and maybe liking it.
You hear the stories all the time where, the dad that watched football every Sunday and, the daughter was off doing something else, or even the wife. And now, if the Chiefs are on, they're all in the same room. He's going to watch the football, and they're going to see if she's there. But then while they're waiting to see if she's there, now they're watching. And this is, I've said it. I'm not a big football guy, but I'm with you, man. I don't know how you can ever be a hater on what she's done. She's done nothing to deserve any hate. She's just a genuinely good person.
She's fallen into what famous people fall into. It's just that she's so famous, it's 10 times more than anybody else out there. But especially for the people that have zero reason to hate on somebody. But she's helping everything. People are now becoming. It's funny enough. You and I were already Taylor Swift fans, and I remember seeing Taylor Swift at the Florida Music Festival when she was like a young teenager playing acoustic guitar in a small bar as part of the music festival thing, and everybody was already like, this girl, she's going to be huge, you wait and see. And I'll never forget that. I got to see if I have one of the old articles from like the publications they did about it back then. And it's such a cool thing because when she came on and she's like, I know you have a lot of male sports fans as your audience, and one thing they want is more of me. And then she smiled at the camera. I was like, it was hilarious. And it's you couldn't give a bigger middle finger than that in itself, but she did it so classy, and it's just funny because like what a cool thing with the amount she does for people. And let me tell you, I have a lot of friends that photograph like the football teams around here, especially when the Chiefs are in town. All I hear is how great she is to everybody. And then like they always say, like they listen for the radio and all of a sudden you'll hear it, Taylor Swift is in the building.
She doesn't big time anybody.
No.
And she is the most big time person on the planet, and she doesn't big time anybody.
Nope. She really doesn't. And she got hate because she couldn't make a relationship stick. Well, that's a pretty high horse to sit on.
I was about to say that's a hard thing when you're her and frankly the people she was dating. And but
celebrities. Travis Kelce is the least celebrity she's been with.
Yeah, and he is still, but he's just a dude. Like
he's a bro dude as well. He's a
dude. He is a bro. He's just a dude, and with him and Jason together, it's fucking hilarious.
I got to meet Jason when the Flyers and Penguins played in the stadium game at the Link in Philadelphia, and I photographed that game. At the time, my most famous photo came from that game. It was Gritty rappelling from the ceiling on the thing. But Jason Kelsey was there, and like they had him on the stage when the players came down with the fire and all this other stuff. And between periods, he was kind of near where I was because I was at the end of the behind the glass. I wasn't even shooting through a photo hole. I was in a real shit spot. But he was just down there, and I just introduced him. He's like, "Oh man, it's awesome meeting." He goes, "It's cool you're photographing the game." Like he's like, "Hi, I'm a person."
Dude, man, they're just cool guys.
It was pretty cool, man. And I remembered when Travis and Taylor started dating, and then obviously all the stuff about Jason came up, and like it didn't even dawn on me that that's who I met.
Yeah.
Until I went back to my old pictures, I was like, "Holy crap, that's right." But yeah, it's a pretty cool thing.
You know, as we're finishing on one of our tangents here,
I promise.
I will end with my final tangent because you mentioned Gritty. Did you see the video of the Kraken mascot getting the shit scared out of him by a bear?
I thought it was fake at first.
I thought it was fake at first too, but it wasn't at all.
No, that thing started charging and they freaked out. That was insane.
Especially, I mean, we can laugh and have a good time with it now because nothing happened, especially now knowing how real it was. But that was intense. But now that it's over, it was freaking hilarious.
I mean, kudos to everyone. Not one of those people like freaked out either.
Right.
They were all super calm. They're like, "All right, let's go." They would have had to buy a new suit. If I was in that suit, they would have had to buy a new suit.
They might have, anyways. Yeah.
And no one would blame anybody.
I haven't seen if Biz has posted anything about that because that's the mascot Biz has a big battle with.
So somebody posted a thing where they put Biz's face on the bear attacking.
Oh, did they? That's perfect. Absolutely perfect. That's good. All right. Anyways,
that's pretty funny. But
like and subscribe, guys. Thanks for watching again.
It's not ending until Cookie does that wave. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Was a cold November morning when I got scared and I left without a warning. I'm so freaking sorry that I didn't stay. Didn't mean to run and throw it all away. Brain wishing, hoping that it's not too late.